whole area of the map. Say cousins. I say that like that. Is that right? We cousins. We cousins. With them all good old white Negroes don't even celebrate. Well, I'll leave everybody. I don't need all that. But hey, we can't. You saw what they was saying about Beyonce. Sent to me. Anyway, I mean, long story short, people was getting on our ass for one American culture football. I'll let it go. I ain't trying to. I spent a long time hating on Beyonce, so I'm trying to reform. You know what I mean? Better things from my hate. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Chicago Back Delegation Podcast. Y'all watching the Corner Show with me, Higher Thinking, and
J. Rashid,
my
what's
cousin.
the word? What's that?
My cousin.
What's that, man?
Yeah. So we got a pretty decent show for y'all today. Definitely, I think we're on the road with going live consecutive weekends and stuff like that. I've definitely been doing a better job with trying to keep connected with I guess I'm trying to say the streets, really the news and the internet and all that stuff. But for the most part, yeah, just trying to keep up and stay online and try to stay connected with the live, with the online things, all stuff like that. Trying to live stream for y'all and everything, getting the videos prepared so we can have some content roll around and stuff. Definitely a whole lot of been kind of happening. You've been kind of keeping up to date with all the latest, all the news and all that stuff that's been happening, because it's been coming in rapid fire. You feel me?
Oh, yeah. Like every day we get our little source of the news. I check in with the Breakfast Club, different little news outlets. I mean, MSNBC, they're a little biased, but I mean, they tell the truth sometimes too. So we gotta get our information from everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Man, you talking about a little bit of bias. I gotta watch Fox News sometimes to kind of keep up with at least their perspective on how they feel about things such as the big beautiful bill and
they love it.
Donald Trump and all that. They love all of that stuff, man. All the stuff that I can't stand. It gets really interesting to watch the way they spin things. And I need to come up with some sort of a video that kind of maybe some sort of an instructional video how to like cut past like people's deflective language and manipulative ways of withholding information and just give you the parts that sound good.
I don't check out Fox News until it's a Democrat president in office.
Yeah, so I mean, because from that perspective, you're gonna get a lot of I'll put it this way, right? Like on most media, maybe even a lot of online stuff as well. I mean, podcast stuff as well. Like you're gonna hear like the good side of what people like Obama, the people like Kamala, and Joe Biden, is doing as president. But like you watch Fox News, you're gonna get whatever they can squeeze out of any given situation. They're gonna try to find. But even then, I would still recommend backtracking and like reading the material for yourself and understanding, having your own understanding on the situation.
For sure, I would always say you always get your own information on whoever like is running for whatever, and then so when you watch stuff like Fox News, you can see where they're lying. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's easy to tell where they're lying and when they're telling the truth. When somebody's running, when they running for office, they always telling on each other. That's just how I see it. So
true. I think I think it helps. For me, it helps when we get the information from those individuals, like when they start telling each other. But I think it's still good to like kind of go back and check things for yourself, and because you just don't know what kind of information they are withholding to pass the narrative, to make the narrative sound plausible, like in order for the narrative to kind of check out. Like I guess one quick example is, and I'm gonna show y'all a little bit later, but like there is I think the no tax on tips. It, like that sounds great, you know what I'm saying, just as a headline, but like when you kind of dig into like the qualifications for that no tax on tips, you'll get kind of like, wait, what?
There's always a catch to it.
Always a caveat. You feel me? I think let me just double check just in case. I was watching them. Sometimes read memes and shit like that, and be tripping too. Mm. So what's the overtime, right? It's both right.
Tips and overtime, yeah.
25. Yep, they completed the sentence for me. So no tax on tips. Starting in tax year 2025, a new law in the United States allows for the federal income tax deduction for qualified tip income up to $25,000 per year. This deduction is an above-the-line deduction, meaning you can claim it even if you don't automatically the deductions. So, yeah, you have to make up to $25,000 a year in order to qualify for no tax on tips. So, like, you know how much money that is?
That's a whole salary. That's a whole year's salary for the lowest paid.
So, I mean, bro, who's surviving? Like, my thing is like, okay, that's great that you don't have to, you don't have to tax, on your tips and overtime and all this stuff. But if the qualification, if you make $26,000 a year, which is far below like the poverty line, mm-hmm. Like what is this little extra tip money gonna do for you? You need about $50,000 to like live alone, and if you God forbid you got a family, God forbid you got like child support or something like that.
And that's one thing that people don't talk about. A lot of people who work these restaurant jobs, they live on these tips. They're not making that. A lot of people don't tip.
A lot of people don't, and I think less people gonna start tipping out after when Medicaid start busting up upside the head. You know what I'm saying? Or when medical expense start busting upside the head. Yeah, we're gonna get into that a little bit, surely too. But like, we're definitely gonna have like a more of an in-depth look at the big beautiful bill. But we only gonna be talking about it like in small, like little, sections, stuff like that. Anyway, so I gotta pull up my chat. Always gotta have my chat. Oh, so anyway, Jay, man, tell me about yourself, man. Let me know what you got going on, cousin.
Oh man, we right now I'm just coasting. We just wrapped up the Michael Jackson show at the end of June at the Theater 47. So we waiting until we just coasting through the summer. We're gonna bring back Living All Alone. We're gonna bring back Living All Alone, the Phyllis Hyman story in September. That's going to be a good one, so make sure y'all go to theater47.com and get y'all tickets for sure. As far as me personally, I'm working on some stuff. I always got some things going on. So I'll be a little tight-lipped, but, we got some content coming on the channel.
Facts. That's good. You still doing the live streams and everything? You say you tight-lipped, huh?
Got a temporary hold on the live stream, but it definitely got that in the works. Though I'm getting my Twitch, getting everything situated with that, with the schedule and everything.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, like I said, that's what's up. As far as everybody else concerned, like, we gonna be getting back into like the 4-man crew. It's just that I mean it's summertime and everybody got babies, everybody got babies and stuff like that they got to deal with. So it just kind of is what it is at this point. They definitely send their love and everything, so it's all good. But otherwise, yeah, as far as myself, like I said, I'm just trying to do my thing with the on the production side of things. We do have a content. We have videos gonna be rolling out for at least 3-4 weeks. All I gotta do is make thumbnails. we got some a good content roll out. We're gonna continue to come out with like something every Sunday. A live stream every Sunday at the very least. I'm still gonna be live streaming throughout the week. It's just kind of if time permits and all that good stuff. But yeah, otherwise ain't much else to kind of report on. So basically, for anybody that's new that's watching the stream here, those watching the show rather, what we kind of do is we normally have 3 segments, and in between, and we will be intro and outro in every segment. So just because we made outro a segment, does not mean that we're going to be ending the stream in any way. That just means we're just again done with that particular segment. In between segments, we'll be reading chats. We're going to be reading super chats, whatever, what have you. And then we will begin. Then we will intro the next segment, and then after everything is pretty much said and done, after we're done through all segments, we'll come. Me and Jay Rashid gonna be kind of ending off the stream and then the show. So y'all know when we'll signal that. We'll signal that when it's time. So, but otherwise, yeah, let's kind of get into the somebody. Oh, Sean Winter says nice size, man. He got to add another one to the list. This boy got like at the crib. He got like this marker that goes like, "Yep, add another one to the list."
Yep,
nice size list.
Yep, got another one.
Yeah. So yeah, so we gonna let's start this thing out, shall we? Try to screw it in this way. Yeah, that's good. All right. I'll be right. Okay. It's B Simone. You know about B Simone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, all right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Corner Show with myself, High Thinking, and my cuz
Jay Rashid.
Yeah, and here we're gonna have a pretty interesting show today. I know everybody kind of been talking about this whole B Simone situation, and I don't like necessarily to come out with like a knee-jerk reaction to certain videos and stuff like that. Just, we don't need to be the first person to say something about it, but I do want to be I do want us to be like the right opinion about when we kind of speak on something, and that kind of requires a little bit of time, a little bit of research, a little bit of meditation and stuff like that before we kind of jump into topics such as this.
Yeah, man, you got to digest it a little bit.
Yeah. So, and I know a lot of people like to be reactionary when it comes to like people's individuals' opinions and stuff like that. So if we're gonna come up with the same conclusions everybody else did, I still like the idea of taking a nice enough time to again embrace, digest the information and perform a little bit of extra research, maybe get some extra opinions to help. Formulate my final opinion about things before we try to put it on the internet, right? Kind of what's your kind of thoughts surrounding like just like B Simone as a comedian, or as a stand, you know what I'm saying? So like, what about B Simone as a comedian? What do you kind of think?
As a comedian, I think on Wild 'N Out, she was funny on Wild 'N Out, but I mean outside of that, I never really got her shtick or her gimmick. You know what I'm saying? Like, she appeals. She has her audience. It's not me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like she appeals more to the women like her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't really have much of an opinion on that. But, I mean, it's, her comedy, outside of Wild 'N Out, no, she's not really funny to me.
Ooh. So, yeah. I definitely heard some unfortunate things about, like, her, about some of the, let's say, business ventures that she had going in the past. I guess she's really known for plagiarizing some book. That's very, very unfortunate. Can't be plagiarizing books, especially when as easy it is to find out how like I mean, there's like softwares that kind of help people like
Identify
plagiarism and stuff. Yeah, exactly. And they've been doing that for, I mean, they've been doing that for a long time. Yeah, years, absolutely. Then she's also like kind of stealing like comedy material, is what I'm hearing from different comedians, So that's it's it's not looking good, but at the same time we do appreciate, we are happy that, or at least I'm happy. I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I'm personally happy that she makes some money and stuff like that, and she's living well.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to her. You know what I'm saying? She found some success. I mean, just because I don't think she's funny. I mean, it's people, like I said, she has an audience. It's people who do think, and she has made some money.
Yeah. So, but so let's kind of get into this situation, if you will.
Wrong with a nigga with a 9 to 5. I get it. They work hard. I used to have a 9 to 5. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong.
It's just my finances. Like the budgeting. You see how I am.
Nothing is wrong.
Oh, let me just say a little bit extra additional context. That scene we just saw, she was actually on the podcast with one of her best friends apparently, and they just kind of talking about life up to that point, and there was some very interesting things said on that podcast as well. So I very much so suggest anybody, check out that conversation, right?
Yeah.
You work hard. You have money. I get it. I need an entrepreneur. I need somebody that understands my mindset. Somebody that has the same lifestyle. It has nothing to do with money. Everything to do with lifestyle. Okay.
Nitpicking every little thing. I've never been like that. We were in Bloomingdale's yesterday. I'm like, we have to go to H&M.
Yeah.
Like I noticed it in
It's
me.
like you trying to be funny. I thought she was trolling.
I mean, it's like I would like to think that she was trolling. I like to think that she was trolling too, but she's also like got tears in her eyes and stuff like that. So that's like that could get kind of. What can I say, man? That's.
I guess, hey, she got to laugh off her pain, right?
All right. I mean, okay. That I like how you think, man. We need to keep it. We need to keep that positivity going.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that's why I'm gonna do that. Let me try this. Okay, that works. So if you want to pause it, just hit the space bar you want to say. You got something to say.
Okay.
Now, just nitpicking, and it's not even. I just don't have it like to spend the liquid.
Yeah.
I'm used to having liquid. I'm used to seeing a certain amount in my account.
But you're
I'm in the bed at 3 a.m. checking emails. What you doing, babe? Working. What you doing? Working. Okay, love you. You want to hop on a flight tomorrow? I have a meeting in out of town. You want to go? You got okay? Let's go. Okay, you understand my life. You understand what I'm going through. I want to manifest that. What do you want in a man? What do you want? Let's start there. What do you want? Ain't nothing wrong with a nigga with a 9 to 5.
Who is she talking to? Like she really going off right now, and it seems like it's kind of aimed at somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because like somebody done pissed off, called her broke or not funny. I don't know. Somebody done pissed on her cereal or something that morning. But I mean, she cute or whatever. But she gotta understand, like she was really enjoying that moment, but she don't even understand what that life would be like being with somebody who's really business minded. You know what I'm saying? She's telling us, what you doing, babe? Checking emails? What you doing, babe? Checking emails? Like, I mean, that's cool or whatever, but somebody who really about their business, I mean, don't get me wrong, they may not be so intimate. They may not have time to be so intimate. You got to understand that. And if you want to impose your time, you know what I'm saying, being a part of their business, you're probably going to be taken away from your business. To be a business-minded person, y'all going to be focused on y'all business. Y'all can keep it together, but I mean, doing that shit hand in hand, the way she's talking, it seems like it's living in fantasy. You know what I'm saying? So she ain't being realistic.
Yeah, like I definitely agreeing with that part regarding if you're a busy person and then you kind of trying to pair with another busy person. Let's backtrack it here. We're let's call it a high functioning, a high earning individual, right? Yeah. You're a high earning individual whom I believe made that substantial of that money coming from Nick Cannon, but she also has other things going on as well. It's just like her podcast, and she has to do she has the network, and she probably has to be a certain place at certain times. to do business with certain people. Now, if you have to do all this stuff in order for you to maintain your lifestyle, imagine what the next person has to do,
Right.
To make a similar amount of money, because that's what she's going after, right? She wants somebody that has reached the lifestyle that she has for herself. Now the problem is that person may not have a Nick Cannon to make money with. You know,
exactly.
You have any idea how much money Nick Cannon has? He had enough money to have to afford 15 babies or whatever he had right now, multiple baby mamas and stuff. So in order for like a regular dude, not a movie star, to make that type of money, he has to be like He has to be like Naruto. He has to have be at the multiple places at the same time. You feel me?
Yeah.
So for somebody to be that busy and like maintain like a relationship with you and your busy ass, you asking for a lot.
I'm asking for a lot, and it's like she ain't taking into consideration. Like when she was trying to get on, she had to hone in on that shit. She couldn't be distracted by her relationship. So it's like, to really maintain that. Can you maintain that while, you know what I'm saying, in a whole marriage? Can she? Why she talking that shit? Can she do it in a marriage? I don't think so. She's living in a world of fantasy right now. She just because she bragging right now.
It's super tough to do so. But to answer your question from earlier, or how you kind of start off the conversation, who is she talking to? I believe she's talking to like some of the guys that's in her DMs. Some of the guys in the DMs just like, hey, you beautiful. Trying to shoot their shot. Man, these guys probably don't have the 9 to 5 guys, right? And they just they ain't got it like like how she wants it. But like, are these dudes like, how do I put this? Do they have the time to set aside to accommodate for a lifestyle like hers? I don't know, maybe not. You know what I mean? But like, at the same time, that's partially why a lot of those traditional relationships and of yesteryear worked out so well, because they had somebody at the crib, doing all the house chores and take care of the kids like that, while the man went out there and stayed busy all the time. Right. But now she's in a situation where she's asking for a power couple, and I imagine power couples can work. You know what I mean? But it takes it takes low key an ebb and flow of like both of y'all life fitting together like a puzzle piece,
like a synchronicity, like it has to sync up.
So, but I'm just saying it's easier said than done, basically. But all that aside, if she can just, I'm not begging her, I'm not asking her, I'm not suggesting she should change the amount about the 9 to 5 guy. I'm just like, I'm kind of just saying like, hey, I know people going to bet. I know I'm going to get hit upside the head for saying this. I already know it. But like, sometimes I don't think it's a bad idea to open up your options when it comes to dealing with guys from different financial levels, especially when you're in a position where you're making like over $100,000 a year, $200,000, $300,000 a year. You're at the point where you can't see yourself in the H&M. If you're making that type of money, I'm just saying it's gonna be hard for you to find a man on that level and above. Whereas like most guys, I ain't gonna say a lot of guys, right, that make that type of money have no problem with dating financially down. Not saying in the dirt. Not saying they trying to go to McDonald's and find the next princess, where what do you call that, Cinderella, anything crazy like that. But at the same time, like I said, like the guys at that level just don't have. They have a less problem of like I said, dating somewhere around a tax bracket, not just like they're at their level and above. They know the what I'm trying to say. They know the probability of finding somebody that's that compatible with them.
Yeah. What I want to say, if that's the case, she's talking to a dude who came in her DMs, a regular 9 to 5 dude. That kind of flips the whole story. And I've been playing devil's advocate. And like, she really is about to eat her words. Like, you want to cry about your finances now, and it's like, shoot. But my argument would be about dating a regular dude. Like, why not? Like, you want somebody that's high profile like you, or higher profile? Because you want somebody to boost your profile? Because that's what the entertainment industry is. Like, you linking up with people who can boost your profile. Whether it be through a mutual project y'all working on, or a relationship. A lot of these relationships, these Hollywood weddings, Remember the song Hollywood Divorce?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so deep, and even in today's culture, because it's like these people linking up is for publicity stunts. I feel like Kanye's marriage to Bianca, that was a publicity stunt. The whole thing. I didn't know who she was, but I mean, after all them antics, now I know who she is.
You gotta, yeah. She showed you so much of herself that you have to know who she is at this point.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I mean that very metaphorically. Actually, literally, I don't even know that. But you know, all that aside though, like B Simone can definitely, like I said, it's obviously possible for her to find somebody at her status above. And I don't want to just pass a narrative that like women should always like date down. Like, but I'm just saying like, I'm sorry, I'm not what I mean to say is, I'm not trying to say women only date up. I'm not saying women are only hypergamous. Like, I mean, honestly, I since I've been single like recently, a lot of the time, I mean, most of the time I'm dating girls that's more educated than me, you know, and they giving me a chance. You feel me? And that's only because, I mean, that's likely because I have like a decent personality. I don't try to like, you know, shove all these like these statistics down their throat. Everything when I don't stay down at the table and ask them what do they bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? I talk to them like they're a normal person. So for a lot of guys that's out there that think that women can only deal with a man that's at their level or above, it's not necessarily that. Sometimes you can just be a cool dude, you know what I'm saying, talk to them normal, like, then, you know what I'm saying, they'll deal with the fact that you might be making 60 while they making 80 or 90 or, 100K, right?
But I feel like that people act the way they act because they seen it work with some people.
Yeah.
It's just like, do you really want somebody that's going to work on? Because, like, do you even respect them? For real? Because, like, I feel like down to earth, regular people, we have a common respect for each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's what attracts us to, like, somebody who works and may make more than us or may make less than us. You know what I'm saying? But people who want to act like they're high and mighty, like, that's, like, you untouchable. Like, really? Like, she looks so, even in this picture, I mean, she cute or whatever. Look like she just waking up, got some leave-in conditioner in her hair or whatever, got a little baby hairs or whatever. But I mean, you still look like, I don't know her real name, but her from around the block. That's her appeal to most people. You know what I'm saying? Like, she look like somebody that they know.
Yeah.
Come on, shorty, get off that high horse.
Let's get back to it. We over causing start a new conversation.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fine, wrong with a nigga with a 9 to 5. I get it. They work hard. I used to have a 9 to 5. Nothing is wrong.
That's what I thought.
I'm over here bugging. There we don't have. Okay, so we just had the whole end of the conversation up early. But ultimately, yeah, like I said, man, if these girls want to make their bread, they want to like upgrade their lifestyle. If they want to maintain a lavish type lifestyle. That's great and all that stuff. Like, we get it, but like I'm just saying, in the past, how it normally went, it kind of the dynamic was normally somebody's doing it, somebody's out there making it happen, and somebody's at the home base like holding it down and maintaining the fort.
Right.
So, but again, even with that said, like my perspective, like my pro-black perspective and all this is, it pays off, right, to find somebody that is around your status. I mean, especially when you're up there in status, because even though, mind you, of course, with black people, like our progress, our potential has been capped due to white supremacy. So that is a thing, that's something we have to deal with. However, even then, the best, again, in my opinion, from my perspective, the best possible, the best relationship that we all kind of should be going for is that power couple. Like, she bring home some bread, I bring home some bread. She do some child rearing, I do some child rearing, and then basically everything in the crib is a team. It's not necessarily. I know how much the traditional thing was. It looks how good it looks and all that stuff on TV, but you got to find out something that actually works for like your household. Like
exactly.
Me personally, like how I was raised, my dad did a lot of cooking, my mom did a lot of cooking too. My dad did a lot of cleaning, my mom did a lot of cleaning too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like it wasn't no like there wasn't this old new. I mean, it's not new, but this old fashioned way of doing things. That's just not something that I was raised on, and it worked out relatively well, in my opinion. And I know a lot of people in our family, you know what I'm saying, that made that type of dynamic work. So yeah, what you but yeah, what you think? What you kind of think, man?
Man, shit, knocking the mic just threw me off. But man, like, okay, like living in like the traditional lifestyle. I mean, that was cool, but I mean, like for me, I grew up in, you know what I'm saying, separate households. Like my mom, she raised me for the most part. My dad, he did his part. You know what I'm saying? He cooked and he cleaned, you know what I'm saying, when I was at his house. You know what I'm saying? He kept his place
By himself, right, manager?
by himself, you know what I'm saying? So it was never like, it was never like, it's like when we see a power couple dynamic, that's what we would want. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I don't know, my parents, they didn't really get along like that, and I didn't like my mom's boyfriends, my dad's girlfriend. I wanted them to get back together, but you know.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying, for me personally, I would want, you know what I'm saying, someone who makes money and, you know what I'm saying, like who doesn't leave it all off on me. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I could say I have that, you know, but it's like we have to find a way that makes it work for us. We can't just watch TV and think like, oh man, I want to live like that. I want to do that, like that.
Yeah.
Because we got to deal in facts. We can't be living in fantasy.
You gotta deal with your own like environment and your own opportunities, right?
Yes.
Go ahead if you. I don't want to cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say, and that's a problem with a lot of the people nowadays. Like, and that's how that's really how it always been, because like, we always wanted to be like the stars we see on TV. It takes us hitting a certain point in life where it's like, I gotta do this. We gotta put down the kiddie things and put on our big boy pants, or big girl pants, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We gotta realize what's really real in the world. Get a damn, you know what I'm saying, get a job, get on your shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you have it, it's okay to, you know what I'm saying, it's okay to enjoy money when you're making it. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing, because you don't want to just be making money just to live. Like, that's not living, for real. But that's the way of the world nowadays with the economy. We making money just to live.
Yeah.
We're not really able to enjoy what we got. So when we're able to enjoy what we got, shit, honestly, I don't blame nobody who wants to splurge a little bit. But I mean, to act like this is just your life forever, don't ever do that. Because not even, like, shit, even the royal family worried about losing all this shit one day. Like, ain't nobody got that shit forever. Ain't nothing guaranteed. Don't play with God like that.
Yeah.
But like that, it'll be gone.
So yeah, I could agree. I agree for the most part. But yeah, I don't want to get this going on too long. But like, yeah, man. Like I said, if y'all got any additional, comments to anything y'all want to share additionally, just throw it in the chat or throw it in, put it in the comment section. If you thought we missed something, or think we just completely off. So in the meantime, it's been hard thinking and
J. Rashid,
my cousin,
my cousin,
and we gonna catch you on the flip side.
For sure.
Okay, we got some comments. Winter says what she really wants is a man who control his own schedule, a man who sets his own hours, can adjust his time around hers, something a typical 9 to 5 simply can't offer. Y'all missing the point. Missed the point, Jay.
Oh man.
That's I mean
that's to be corrected.
That's facts though. It's facts though, but like I think like that's still tough because like now imagine, of course those people exist, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But like I guess I have to kind of think about what kind of like reality has that person set up for himself in order to make something like that even happen. Because like I said, a business, I mean, somebody a millionaire in the making works a lot. I mean, I guess what I've been hearing, the talking points is they work 80 hours a week, and they work weekends and it's like they are super like uber fucking busy and stuff like that. And I don't know, that's kind of what I've been kind of thinking.
We didn't miss the point though, because we said it would take somebody like that to make that work for them. We didn't miss the. But
That was probably like
but
earlier when before we adjusted.
before we said that. Okay, so I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I do stand to be corrected if we did miss something, but in the whole conversation, I feel like we covered all the grounds for real.
Yeah. I think she probably they probably put that there before we got addressed. But yeah.
So shout out to you though. Shout out to
Yeah.
you.
So that that's still smart for them to put in smart
Yeah.
to call us out on about it.
For sure.
A cool dude can't pay these bills. A cool dude can't get up and go take these trips. Women need security.
Basically, let them pay the bills. I feel you, sure. Really dope. I mean, hey, you gotta get what you gotta get. I mean,
Yeah.
but you got some women, and that's what's crazy though. Some dudes is out here because it's women out here who will cash out on a dude, take them on a trip, and they ain't gotta work. Some dudes out here ain't gotta work, and other people see that as like, man, I want that for myself. I want that. Me personally, I want to be the guy that works for my money. You know what I'm saying? And I want my woman to earn her bread how she earn her bread. You know what I'm saying? She don't have to have a traditional 9 to 5. If she make her money, you know what I'm saying, teaching dance classes or, you know what I'm saying, doing what she do in the arts, I mean, shit, that's fine by me.
So like I think that type of lifestyle will require it requires like a lot of passive income. That's pretty much how you can create like a lifestyle like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it depends. It's all about life decisions at that point. If you want to if you want to just own things and then just find some place that's manageable for you to kind of live off on your passive income, where you can just take trips like that. I mean that's your prerogative and stuff like that. So it is what it is. Otherwise, so we can move on to the next video here. We're gonna talk about some Medicaid thing. Let me unmute this. Probably gonna have to refresh it too. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Corner Throat.
The corner.
I was doing good too. I swear I was doing good. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Corner Show, and I'm Higher Thinking, along with my cousin
J. Rashid. What's the word, y'all?
Yeah, man, we gonna be talking a little bit about this BB big bullshit bill big beautiful bill that just passed the House and Senate floor, and of course, and also the executive branch, with that being Donald Trump. And a lot of people, there's a lot of conversation happening. There's opinions going on all over the place about people's interpretation of the bill. There's like there's perspectives, and then there's rebuttals, and then there's rebuttals to the rebuttals, and then there's confusions, and then there's clarifications. Here on the Chicago Black Delegation, we are trying our utmost best to give you the actual facts, with the based on not just our perspectives, but also our filtering methods on how to take information and then filter all the bullshit out, and then get straight to, let the truth flow through, right? Otherwise, and we're gonna go more into detail about like some of the other findings of the bill, but I think one of the most prevalent conversations right now is actually like the Medicaid situation. A lot of people think that Medicaid thing is just not a problem for themselves, and if it's a problem for Black people, then that's Black people's problem, right? And I think I want to bring like just some clarifications to that, because there's some things that I thought about initially, and then upon some research, I found out I was right about it. But I can't, we can't just tell y'all. We also got to show y'all as well, right? Anyway, we got a brother that goes by the name of Doss Disclosure, and Doss Discourse, and he does a lot of educational content. And we definitely going to see what he got to say about this here Medicaid situation.
Yeah, Trump's bill that's about to pass the House is going to cut Medicaid, but I'm not on.
I hate when that happens. Instagram is just such a bad internet site.
Yeah, Trump's bill that's about to pass the House is going to cut Medicaid, but I'm not on Medicaid, so why should I care? I would love to get on here and explain to you all the reasons why you should care
Shit, my bad.
about other people, low-income people losing their health insurance by Trump's Medicaid cuts, but you don't care.
Okay, they really don't let me do that.
You don't care. I want you to care, but you don't care. What you care about is how Medicaid cuts would hurt you. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to explain to you how Medicaid being cut is going to be bad for you, a person who's not even on it. Okay? All right, stay with me. I'm going to go real slow. When uninsured people go to the hospital and they can't pay, but they go to the emergency room anyway because they're about to die for some reason, and they can't pay, hospitals and providers eat those costs. It's called uncompensated care. Those losses that the hospitals just ate and the providers ate are oftentimes passed on to privately insured patients by way of higher prices and higher insurance premiums. That's you. You see how we got to you? Do you see how you're in it now? So by covering low-income individuals through Medicaid, the same Medicaid that Trump is trying to cut, it lessens those uncompensated costs, which keeps your premiums down. You see that? This is about you. We don't even have to have a bleeding heart. We don't have to care about everybody else out there. We can just care about ourselves and still fight against these Medicaid cuts. And this is not just my opinion. The Kaiser Family Foundation did an entire study that showed that Medicaid expanding Medicaid in states, lowers hospitals' uncompensated care by 25 to 40%, depending on the state, which eases the financial pressure on the entire healthcare system. That's you. You're in that too. Medicaid is also just preventative. It being in your state prevents things that happen that would exhaust your healthcare system that you would have to pay for. Lutheran Services of America is a very good example of that. The people who get Medicaid through them get all this preventative care, and they get care coordination and in-home support, and it improves the health of the people who are on it, and it reduces their need for high-cost healthcare services, right? And so then those members remain healthy, and they end up participating members of the economies around them. Like, it's just a good thing to have in your state economically. So look, the big, beautiful bill that wants to cut this, Trump's bill that wants to cut this, has already passed the Senate. We're in the final hours. We have like a day. You have to call your representatives. You have to tell them not to make these cuts to Medicaid, right? That people need them, that even if you're not on them, that they help your local economies as well. Find whoever your representatives are at the federal level. Find your representative, email them, call them, do whatever you can. You literally have a day. I did it earlier today to tell them, urge them to vote against something that's not just going to hurt the people around you. It would hurt you, whether you're on Medicaid or not. Okay? All right.
Okay. So yeah, this stuff is like really important to like take into consideration because again, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of people like to think that this whole thing, this Medicaid situation, just doesn't affect them. It doesn't involve them. They paid it. They have their own insurance. They make money, or they still qualify for Medicaid because they have a job. Because part of that, they essentially just made it more strict to qualify for Medicaid. Unfortunately, that this doesn't. There's going to be some casualty in that. There's going to be some people that simply are beholden to other obligations that keeps them from working, which is what the government has not accounted for in crafting a big beautiful bill, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So, but we won't be going too far into detail about that. But what I do want to say is, there is a rebuttal to that. There's additional. I'm sorry. What I mean to say is, I'm sorry. There is a rebuttal to that people are trying to call upon, and it's not, and it's going to be something that doesn't just cover this argument he's presented. What did he call it? The what's the name of that?
Yeah, Trump's bill.
Like what do you call that? Just now he called it like basically if the hospital's not getting enough revenue from the customers from the patients, the Medicaid kind of covers the cost. I forgot the terminology used, but we'll put the name above my head. I ain't gonna waste y'all time about that. But they said a lot of people are trying to say that there is they put some the government or the Senate, the Senate or the House, they put some in the bill that kind of covers. That kind of accommodates for this situation, and we're gonna pull it up right now, and I want to kind of dissect it with y'all and kind of show y'all like what is there, what you also should know about this either amendment or this fix. So So this we are on SpencerFain.com, and it is titled "The One Big Beautiful Bill currently appropriates $50 billion for rural health care." So let's kind of go through this. HR one, also known as the One Big Beautiful Bill, was passed by the Senate on July 1st, 2025. HR one includes the creation of a rural health relief fund called the Rural Health Transformative Program. The Rural Health Transformation Program would be created as a result of amending 42 USC 1397 EE. Essentially, the program will allow states, not individual providers or facilities, to access the rural health funding, and then states would have this discretion on in how to allocate to spend the funds. So basically, what that says is they are like this money. They're allocating. Well, it's $50 billion. They're allocating each state this funding for at least for the year. I think they believe they're going to processes every year. They're going to allow each state this discretionary fund to assist with the rural hospitals that qualify for assistance. So it sounds so far it does sound good on paper. The Rural Health Transformation Program appropriates $10 billion per fiscal year to Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services (CMS) for fiscal years 26 through 2030, for a total of $50 billion over 5 years. Funding under the program would be dispersed to eligible states by CMS. States must apply for funding by December 31st, 2025. So before we go further, each state is going to receive, $50 billion over the course of 5 years. So let's just kind of round it to like each state is going to be can qualify for up to $10 billion a year for for this five. Well, this is actually a 4-year period, right? So it actually have to be divided by 4. Shit. What's 40? I need to calculate. See, find out what's 50 billion divided by 4. Yeah, that boy too how to put in numbers, man.
12,500,000,000.
So 12,500,000,000, so that's much. So they'll get $12.5 billion to allocate for every hospital in the entire state. So I'm asking you a question: do you think 12.5 billion per year is enough money to accommodate for the? I mean, is it enough to keep a hospital? Keep every hospital in the entire state from closing?
No.
I don't think so either.
No.
I mean, just like one hospital, I imagine it's just gonna cost like it's an insurmountable amount of money to keep the doors open. Now, mind you, yes, we can start adding in the people that have insurance, the people that actually pay out of pocket, and the individuals that still qualify for Medicaid. And with all of those things figured in, maybe we can get to like, okay, maybe we got something kind of going on there. But dude, like, how many hospitals are in a single state alone? And to assume that money is gonna be enough without performing like the true due diligence necessary. When I say true due diligence, they're supposed to be talking to a multitude of. They have to talk to like a multitude of doctors throughout. I mean, they have their own private practices. They need to talk to like these clinics. They need to talk to dentist offices. They need to talk to like obviously big hospitals. Like, you have any idea how much medical care that you can find that qualify? I'm sorry. Do you have any idea the number of like practices that fall under medical care? And to assume that you just gonna just slap some random ass $50 billion number and then assume that that's going to cover for every state in the United States of America. You feel me? It's just whereas we have something like called Medicaid that just had a really good job at taking care of anything come what may. You know what I mean? But again, you're gonna just slap this random ass $50 billion number on there without performing like any real research necessary to come up with an actual number that's just gonna be viable in a situation like this. Again, it sounds like it's just a bunch of rich niggas that wanted to solve a problem in the fastest way possible. And then if any state has something to say about it, then they have representatives to stick up for them. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of these representatives, state representatives by way of senators or House of Representative members are just flat out cowards. Where they'll go for whatever the fuck Donald Trump's talking about, regardless of what's going on. So they don't care about the research being performed. The Democrats obviously care about the research that's being performed. And then anybody that kind of falls in the middle is unfortunately on the Republican. I mean, anybody that falls in the middle on this is going to get primaried. You know what I'm saying, by Donald Trump, and it just kind of just is what it is. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Folks had to just understand that this stuff it requires more research than what Donald Trump and them actually putting money towards. You know what I mean?
So it's like I'm trying to understand like rural health. Like they talking about like outside of the city, like in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And you know what that don't entail, right? It doesn't entail hospitals in the hood.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like in the whole time, like I'm just going through the stuff like this is not because they know who lives out in the country, and it's a lot of motherfuckers who own their own land, and like these rich white people live out in the country.
Yeah,
and at least in rural Illinois, from where I'm staying, and you know what I'm saying, where I see, like this has no benefit to us.
Right. Especially at least on paper. Now, when it comes to if they were to get us money to the states, and if the states even qualify to begin, because we're going to get to the qualifications in a second, right. But the states have to qualify first. But if they do turn out to qualify, Illinois is relatively holistic in their adjustments and stuff like that. Man, there's some weird stuff going on. Don't be wrong, Tiffany Hanger, but there's also some there's a lot of high intellectual conversations being happening, and to come up with solutions that's actually again usable, at least somewhat useful for the people, Illinois or residents and stuff like that. And then you got some people in other counties, some of these red counties that want to pair up with Indiana, which is, I mean, if they want to shoot themselves in the foot, by all means, you know what I'm saying. That's a whole nother situation. Though. Right. Shout out to Indiana. But what I do want to say is, you get this money to the states, get this money to the state, and let Pritzker decide how to allocate the money. He's gonna throw some money towards Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Because again, he knows that there's some hospitals in the hood that's just gonna be struggling. You know what I'm saying? That's to stay open for obvious reasons, for a whole lot of reasons surrounding this investment in the black community and stuff like that. We'll get to that another time. But is enough money? Is the big question. And if they want to prioritize the rural states first, the rural counties first, I mean, it just sounds like one of those things where they just trying to look out for a particular group of people, and not everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's on brand with Trump.
So let's get to the qualifications. So a detailed rural health and transformation plan detailing how the state plans to improve healthcare access and outcomes, prioritize the use of the technologies that connect providers to patients, indicate collaboration between rural health care providers. You guys know what I'm saying?
No, I'm reading.
Okay. Enhance the supply of healthcare providers through economic incentives. Outline strategies for the long-term financial solvency of rural hospitals. And F, identify risk factors for hospital closure. So these are just a bunch of general, qualifiers and stuff like that. And I mean, it's just kind of going to be up to the interpretation of the individuals involved to find out if what each individual state has to say actually qualifies. But understand that we see the word rural hospital there, we also kind of understand that this doesn't, whatever they kind of bring forth as far as a problem in rural hospitals, it's had to be problems like specifically relegating to a hospital that's in a rural area.
Right.
Damn the fact that it's in the city. Damn the fact that it's in a urban neighborhood where the people surrounding it don't are heavily reliant on Medicaid, and even if a majority of them has the money either the money or the coverage or the Medicaid coverage to pay their own way, we also have to understand that they're not going to qualify. I mean, all the prices are going to get jacked up because there's still a lot of people that's going to fall off of that payment. Right. And the hospitals need to stay open one way or another. They have to stay open by, raising their prices. I mean, that's just how capitalism kind of is, or that's how economy kind of is. So I mean, like I said, my biggest concern is each state, and it's not even just about Illinois. Like this is Chicago Black Delegates podcast, so we're gonna be focused on Illinois the most. But for other states such as Texas, for the states, so for, what's another red state, like was it Tennessee or something like that, or Kentucky? There's so many other Florida, California's blew my bad, but there's like so many places where black people live in a more so condensed area, and like those places are gonna they could be in trouble. You know what I mean? And that means a lot of black people are gonna go without health care, and even if there's still another hospital in the area. There's going to be something that we call a medical, what do you call that? A desert, like a medical facility desert. Whereas if anybody here knows what a food desert is, or healthy food desert is, you don't have a hospital, you don't have a grocery store, or like someplace where you get fresh and good food for miles, or especially within walking distance. And the further you got to go to get food or medical service, first of all, it's gas money that you're wasting, but also it's just not, there's no, like the gentleman just said, like the money needs to be it's going to be going to other states, not states, but it's going to be going to other territories, economies and stuff like that, which is just not going to, and which is going to have a problem with like the current economy and your own. That's all group economics. We'll talk about, we're going to talk about group economics a lot, but the short end of it is, when you put, the more money you spend in other economies and other like towns and shits and economies and stuff like that, that has a negative effect on your town's economy. So all that aside, it's just important for us to have local hospitals and local services and stuff like that, so that we can not just have quick and easy access to these to health and food, but also it also turns around and benefits our local economies and stuff. Okay. So let's continue forward with this. A certification that none of the funding under the program would be spent on expenditures attributable to an intergovernmental transfer, certified public expenditure, or any other expenditure to finance the non-federal share of expenditures required under any provision of law. So if a state is selected to receive payments under the program, it will receive payments for all programs. If a state is selected to receive payments under the program, it will receive payments for all 5 program years. Okay. The amount each state receives under the program will be determined by CMS based on each state's rural population. There you go.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exclusive to the rural population.
It really is. Or at the very least, I still have faith that the state will allocate the money, responsibly. Mm-hmm. But if it's primarily focused, it's just the rural population, and that's not. It's starting to become a problem for me. It sounds like we'll get to that in a second. I already got an idea about this. Is there determined by CMS based on each state's rural population, number of rural health facilities, and the situation of hospitals in the state. If a state receives funding under the program, it must use the funding for at least three of the following purposes. Oh, this is about to get bad, bro. This is fine. This is actually going to get bad. But yeah, this is kind of what we just said. For me, it sounds like in order for this to not negatively affect black people want to start moving to rural areas, and this is fucking silly as hell.
In a way,
let me get this off for a split second, bro. This almost sounds like they want niggas to start working on farms. You see what you know how
I see where you're going.
You see how I'm going with that? Like when these hospitals become hospital, well, I mean, so when these areas start become hospital or medical deserts, then these black people have to move in places where they can actually receive these types of services, and they're gonna want this money to. They essentially gonna want us to move back on like in economies where these services are. I mean, where these medical services are actually available.
Right.
And if Donald Trump wants to incentivize individuals to move to these rural areas, then what is there? How are you going to be able to make money in these locations? Are you gonna? They think niggas gonna start opening up juke joints and shit like that, and and all this other essentially bring the hood to these rural. Bro, this is
like imagine
my man is racing right now.
Like imagine the best hospital is in fucking Moni or some shit, or like Beecher, or somewhere between here and Kankakee. Like that's sick. That's sick. It's so many people who need that health care right here. Like we right here in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like so many people need health care. They just closed down Metro Old St. Francis Hospital over in Blue Island. They just closed down the hospital. There's people who needed that hospital open. Yeah. Honestly, they could have kept it open as a museum. It's been in that area for like over 100 years. They could have kept it open as a national monument just for the area, but they wanted to close it down because I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy.
Dude, this is on my mind, bro. Well, and like I said, that's definitely a good example of people like needing that hospital to be open for obvious reasons. People need health care. And this is like what I said earlier. If you like when your local hospital closed down, what's your option? You got to go to another one. So if they're gonna just do this thing where they completely deflate these urban hospitals because they're not getting the funding they need, then they, in my opinion, this is a hot take at this point. I'm trying to say consented. This is a procedural effort to get niggas out the hood, to get black people away from the city and put them in these rural areas where they can man these farms. And this is and I know this. I personally know black people that think that we need to return to like the farm, to return to like that type of a lifestyle. Okay. And I'm gonna tell my audience the same thing I told these individuals. I'm sorry. Yeah, these individuals. Check this out. There's a lot of black people that are educated now, and our best, what's best for us is to be somewhere where there's good clean running water, there's good power, there's good internet access. Chicago is just a lot of opportunity here. It's a lot of opportunity. And a lot of people have all went, but Chicago is a shithole. There's a lot of violence happening here. People getting shot all the time. There's a lot of opportunity here and a lot of money to be made in Chicago. You thought Atlanta was a grounds for like a lot of revenue. Chicago is that and then some.
It's a well connected city. That's why.
Extremely well connected city. And for people to think that it's good to just for us to go back and just rebuild the farm and all that. Like, look, I get it. I understand that. But again, with us having such a high amount of educated individuals, the best place for these individuals is to be close to where the money is.
Yeah.
You okay, yeah, we got a bunch of nurses. Yeah, we got a bunch of business owners. Like those people can find some level of work in rural areas, sure. But there's also just people that will just make more money. They will make more happen in when they're just closer to Chicago. You go downtown. There's so much opportunity to network with people, create new businesses. Just like the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? Even when you got some. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like when it comes to that, like this is where all the high tech jobs are. So like people who study in that field, this is where they should be.
Exactly.
If you study for robotics, you shouldn't move out to the country because there's nothing out there. You're gonna be coming right back out here or somewhere else to another city. Like when I was in Georgia trying to sign up an ITT, they weren't doing video game design classes, but they were in California, so I was gonna have to go to California for that.
Bro, what development studio you think is gonna set some shit up down right next door to a damn farm? You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have a lot of these places don't have like the damn power grid system to even function to like run a large scale facility that's gonna sap in so much that needs a constant huge amount of or a surplus of energy being transmitted.
I'm talking about as soon as like a heavy storm or a tornado hits, it's knocking out a whole town's power just like that.
Bro, like wintertime happened. Like it snows down in, southern Illinois as well. Like those places need to be constantly plowed. Like the infrastructure in Chicago is just it's great. It accommodates so well high productivity. So like getting to my point, what you were just kind of adding to, yes, these individuals are the best place for them to make money is going to be is in the city. It just is what it is. And for them to pull out a high amount of blacks that may not just be up to that standard away from Chicago, and separated from that from Chicago, and and just spread out on all these other rural areas or places that just rural areas or whatever. Is just gonna. And this is gonna get into like the more subjective kind of territory, but I'm just saying, when you look at marriage statistics, and I mean, yes, I'm bringing in marriage statistics in this, and people are gonna be kind of confused why I'm even talking about this to begin with, but it's gonna add up. When you realize that black people would heavily date and take serious and pair bond with other black people. What do you think is going to happen when there is like such a huge drop off in black people in like in your just general area? You know what I'm saying? It's just less opportunity for you to connect with somebody that like looks like you, and not just look like you, but can kind of connect with you in a way that other nationality groups just can't seem to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like something that's kind of been happening in the corporate field. There's just like a lot of brothers say there's just not enough sisters around here for me to find somebody to marry, and a lot of sisters say the exact same thing. The thing is they just not work in the same departments. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not necessarily, I'm not against like interracial like marriages or anything like that, but for so many people that want to be with each other, that's gonna be. I argue that that's a problem. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying there's a problem with interracial dating. I'm gonna hammer that one in case somebody try to introduce that. But I'm just saying it's a problem when there's a woman or when there's a man that just simply prefers dating, within their own culture for obvious reasons, just are stripped with a huge amount of options. And it's not because, mind you, of course, there's some self-accountability that kind of goes into that. A lot of black people just simply missed opportunities. However, there's a whole lot of disinvestment. There's a whole lot of racism, a whole lot of, systemic racism that kind of contributed towards the extraction of black people IDs or the exodus of black people IDs places like downtown Chicago or Chicago in general, and then for me to tell a sister, oh yeah, you gotta go to out in that farm where they picking cotton to find your husband.
That's crazy.
You know how that crazy that sounds?
That sounds so crazy.
So,
In 2025.
So yeah, y'all ain't gonna hear that from anybody else, cause that's about one of my more wild takes. But yeah, let's kind of continue with this. Kind of wrap this one up, and but yeah, so let's kind of read this last paragraph again.
Wait, hold on, wait. What us saying that a lot of the tech jobs are in the city. That's not to discourage anyone who is interested in maybe starting their own farm, because one thing we do need is more black farmers.
Facts.
That is one thing we definitely need, because a lot of these people, they are using random pesticides. We need people who are conscious of what they spraying their crops with, what they feeding their animals, but we just need more black farmers.
For sure. A lot of revenue being brought, creating those farms. It does take a lot of money to invest too, though.
Yes,
but
it does.
We can do that, with partnerships and deals with amongst each other and other allied groups, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If a state is selected to receive payments under the program, it will receive payments for all 5 program years. The amount of each state receives under the program will be determined by CMS based on each state's rural population, number of rural health facilities, and the situation of hospitals in the state. If a state receives funding under the program, it must use the funding for at least 3 of the following purposes. So 1, promotion of evidence-based chronic disease prevention and management interventions. Okay. Payment to healthcare providers for the provision of healthcare items or services. A, eligible items or services to be specified by CMS at a later date. B, healthcare provider is a provider enrolled under CHIP, Medicaid, or Medicare. Promotion of facing technology solutions that to prevent / manage chronic diseases, provisions of training or assistance, and the adoption of technology solutions by rural hospitals, i.e. remote monitoring, AI, etc. Recruiting, retaining a clinical workforce to rural areas if such workforce commits to serve in a rural community for at least 5 years. Provision of technical assistance software and or hardware to improve cybersecurity efficiency or patient outcomes, identification of needed preventative ambulatory, hospital emergency, acute inpatient care, acute inpatient care. Yeah, why am I saying inpatient? Acute inpatient care, outpatient care, and post-acute care in rural communities. Supporting access to opioid use disorder. They petty as hell, bro. Substance. Okay. Substance use disorder. Okay, so that now we talking. Well, never mind. I ain't gonna get into too detail with that. And mental health treatment, developing value-based care or alternative payment models, or any other use identified by CMS as qualified. Okay, so they have to use the money towards these number of items. I don't have too much issue with this per se. I think it's smart to put the money towards things that actually matter to avoid certain individuals from pocketing some money. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm relatively okay with that. So let's kind of close this one out. For an individual provider or facility to receive funding under the program, the state would have to apply for the program, be granted program funding, and then operationalize 3 or more of the above selected uses for the funding. The provider or facility would then likely have to meet whatever eligibility criteria such state sets and apply to the agencies and that state administering the funding uses. HR 1 is currently back in the House. Well, yeah, it passed. They're just talking about if it's going to pass or fail. We will continue to monitor you. So yeah, we got any? What do you think about like how we trying to went over in totality?
I think it's. I think it's gonna be a good time for certain people to move out to the country, but that's taken away from what the cities need. I don't like that, but at least the things that they're qualifying for, you know what I'm saying? Like, people do have opioid use disorder, substance use. A lot of people need mental health treatment, so I mean, I can't really be mad about that. So at least they'll be getting the help they need. But it's just like the city still need help, but I ain't got too much to say about it.
Yeah, like I said, my biggest concern is I believe this is a concerted effort to get us out
Moving
city.
to this country.
And I think there's a lot. There's gonna be quite a bit of ramifications with that. And I think because what you said is like there's a lot of things that is needed in the city. And I think there's a lot of things that that's going to happen with us being extracted from the city. And I just think a large portion of that is essentially, our ability to like influence politics, to influence things. Because I would argue that a large reason why a lot of these big cities are so very blue democratic and all that stuff is because of our influence, our cultural influence and stuff like that. A lot of people understand they empathize with the struggles with what how do I put this? They empathize with our struggles. You know, they understand, they saw they know the history. You know, and the best way for us to continue on with that trajectory is by just educating the people around us about like what's kind of just been happening. I would argue that if they extract us out of these cities, we have less influence on people around us to educate them, to let them know that this and what's happening to black people is something that can actually happen to your group, or if it's not you specifically, it can be your family members. So we have to like, I mean, I get it. Being conservative sounds all fun and dandy, all that other stuff, but if you don't consider the livelihood of the people that surround you, that if you're gonna consider the livelihood of your the people that they affect, that the people that they hold dear, then we're gonna enter this country is gonna enter a state of essentially individualism and counter to what we kind of would define today as social democracy, which is just the form of capitalism that is pushing our money or pushing our dollars towards more humanitarian efforts, while also again remaining capitalistic. So, long story short, this is a power move. This is a power move by the government to turn these big cities from blue to red, and I don't like that. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's other things that's gonna come with us not populating these New Yorks, these Californians, these other states and stuff like that. So, otherwise, I don't know, that's pretty much my opinion about it. And I said a mouthful already. You got any closing statements regarding this?
I'm just wondering, like, if with everybody evacuating the city, I mean, we already know what gentrification is about.
Yeah.
We already know what that's about. So, like, when you're raising the rent for, like, say, like, the common white people who don't earn that much, like, well, y'all just evacuating the city for the elitists?
Man, and I don't think. Well, I mean, I guess it kind of depends on how they gonna go, how they would go about doing it. But I think how do I put this? If they're gonna just reserve someplace like Chicago, someplace like New York only for the elites, then who is gonna man these businesses? Who's gonna man these factories, and who's gonna do like the labor work, like the hard labor, in order to maintain these people's businesses? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying, because like y'all pushing people further and further away from the city, whether it be north, south, east, or west. You know, like it's just making it further distance. People gonna be searching for jobs closer to where they live.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be. I mean, sure the jobs pay great, but who's gonna be paying for that gas? I mean, I guess you got people who still rely on public transportation, but sometimes that's why they need to install more bus lines, because sometimes buses and trains don't necessarily. Well, I don't know. I found out you can catch a train from. I'm pretty sure they already had the train line established from Aurora to Chicago. So I mean, that's nothing. But like in the rural areas, you still gotta drive to the train station though.
Dude, man, for
Like
sure.
miles.
I mean, you still got to, I mean, that train ride going to be like, shit, how long is it going to take from, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that, you know, all that said, like, yeah, like moving people away from these companies like that. And it's like you just said, it's going to incite them. It's going to inspire them to find a job like within there that they don't have to take the train to, you know, to find work and stuff like that. The bigger point I want to make, yeah, I might just leave it. I'm gonna go ahead and end it off on that note. Or you finna say something?
No.
Okay. Yeah, we can end off on that note. But yeah, otherwise, for everybody that's out there, you know, the thing I would suggest is when we kind of get to an age where they start pushing towards agendas, not agendas, when they start pushing towards legislation, even. To essentially send money in the direction of like these billionaires so they can start roboticizing, right, their businesses and start replacing like physical labor with automation and stuff like that. That's like the point where you need to start, as this dude just said, contacting your local like state and your local state representatives and maybe even neighboring ones as well. Put it this way, if there's a state representative that maybe it has jurisdiction over another territory of Illinois, you can call that person as well. We need to start essentially taking control of politics at this point by way of influence. And it's not just about, and because they're doing the video said we have to like make the phone calls. It's not just about making the phone calls. It's about spreading awareness as well. Yeah. So if you don't want to go out, you know, make a sign and instead sit down with a whole bunch of people, make some TikToks. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Make videos, like pair up, like do collaborative efforts with people like the Chicago Black Delegation podcast and have conversations with us. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But get involved and then spread awareness so that we can start. So we can start primarying the motherfuckers that are not representing us the way that we need to be represented. And I will argue that when these individuals in these cities, like big time Chicago, starts automating their businesses, and they to the point where they don't need us in these cities, which will also mean that they will just start investing in the lower or the working class less than they already are. Yeah, that's when that'll be a form of gentrification. You know what I mean? So it's just so many ways they're trying to push not just black people, right, but also like working class people out of Chicago. And like I don't know what it's going to take for people to start taking politics by the horns and holding people accountable to the point where we will literally target a politician to making sure he doesn't to make sure they don't work in office ever again. Yeah. And you can do that by voting. You feel me? Damn, that was a long video. This has been Hard Thinking of the Corner Show. My cousin
Jay Rashid.
We'll catch you on the flip side.
All right.
Okay, so last video. That was man. I had a lot to say about that shit though. Cause that's a lot of things that people don't really think about, you know what I'm saying? No new chats, no anything like that. We're gonna get into this last section and then close it out. I figured that's gonna be really small. Okay, they got a thing right here. TMZ. We ain't gonna go through. Okay, so I figured this out already. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Corner Show. I'm Higher Thinking, and I'm being joined with
Jay Rashid.
Yep, and we are gonna talk about something that's kind of been in there's been a lot. There's been a big topic of commotion. There's been causing a big commotion amongst the black community for quite a while now. For even though it's kind of was being overshadowed by like the whole Diddy situation, especially when amongst like the celebrity sphere and stuff like that. And I do want to say a lot of this type of thing has kind of been going under the radar, which I'm kind of surprised about. But you know, with such a hot button topic such as like Diddy and the Cassie thing like that, it makes sense that stuff like celebrities or black celebrities takes on politics kind of can go under the radar and stuff like that. Not besides the fact that everybody got their own lives to kind of to worry about as well. But I want to ask you a quick question first. What do you think about what do you think about celebrity influence in politics? Like, you ever thought about something like that?
I mean, ever since Dave Chappelle made that joke about 9/11 saying, what does Ja Rule think? It was like, that's always been a part of the culture.
Facts.
I mean, we always look to people that we somewhat idolize to see what they think about stuff. So, I mean, I can't say it doesn't have a place. It doesn't have a place, like, in politics, for real. Like, a celebrity shouldn't. But, I mean, they have that influence, though. Let's just be honest. They have that influence, but they're not politicians themselves. That's why when they endorse somebody, that means so much. And that's why they capitalize on that nowadays. That's why you've seen Beyonce and Megan Thee Stallion at Kamala's rally, and seen Hulk Hogan and who else? I don't even know it. Donald Trump's, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just crazy the power of celebrities in at least American culture. Like, I feel like in like across the ocean, celebrities they're respected and they revered, but they're just celebrated. They're not idolized. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they hold them to a certain standard. Like, they don't go crazy for celebrities like we do out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, even when, like, well, I don't know, because, like, you see royalty in Africa or something like that, they be going crazy out there. But they don't, but it's not like, even then, it's still like a level of civility in it. Like, don't nobody get crazy. You know what I'm saying? But it's just American politics, you know what I'm saying? It's America, where celebrities have a voice, even if they're not politics.
Yeah. I definitely agree. Shit, you talking about they go and they don't go crazy over I'm sorry, they don't go crazy over celebrity shit. They go crazy over our celebrities, you know what I'm saying? Instead, you know, a lot of the time. And that's, I mean, it's all about that hype, you know what I mean? It's about how these American artists are, like, you know, advertising stuff. So,
and I was gonna say that because America is such a big name in the world. It's like somebody who's famous here would be, honestly, Michael Jackson was treated like higher than royalty when he went to London in the 80s. Like, and that's crazy to even say, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's just the power that America has as far as like entertainment goes in the world.
Yeah. So, I like, long story short, I ain't gonna be too long-winded with this, but I think the celebrities when it comes to politics, their job really is supposed to just be like somebody to kind of speak up for the next person, or just I'm sorry, I put it this way. I'd rather say this. They have the eyes on them because they're celebrities, but they themselves have, let's say, a limited understanding of politics in general. You know what I mean? So, and I think people need to keep that in mind before looking to celebrities for, like, say, political advice.
Right.
And we also need to take into consideration that when we do see a Beyonce at a Kamala Harris rally, when we do see what's that man named Lil Wayne taking a picture with Donald Trump, we have to understand that there is a quid pro quo going between those individuals. We have to understand that that they think just like how I do. They know that the celebrities have, like, the influence, and if I can take a picture with Lil Wayne, that, you know, the blacks will like me a lot more. You know,
That's why he freed Kodak.
That's why he freed Kodak for real. how do I put this? But like, what people also need to understand before they, what they also need to understand is, these individuals, these celebrities also have their own political agendas. You know, 50 Cent, like he just kind of went viral for making some very interesting statements uh, about a New York's potential mayor. I forgot the dude's name. I'm gonna post his name above my head when he has like I believe he's like an Indian dude. He's either Indian or Arabic, but he's a very socialistic. He has a very socialistic take on how New York should be ran, and people like that. People like those socialistic ideas, but 50 Cent is like he kind of speaking out against them. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people just don't. And when you kind of understand that celebrities have their own agendas because they have a lot of money, they don't want their money being put in places that they don't have, power over, or power over. Well, guess what? They just might start using their influence to push um, I'm sorry, they might start using their influence to advance a political agenda. You know what I mean? And that's just something that a lot of like big corporations do. Like if you were to look up how much money these big corporations invest into lobbyists and other political agendas, like you'd be kind of surprised. Like, damn, how come they not putting this money towards the workers' pockets, or how come they don't put this type of investment into assisting individuals in their own businesses get higher on the total pole of the corporation. You know what I mean? I appreciate UPS because they gave those people like free tuition if you worked at UPS. That's like an example of like something good that corporation did. But when you kind of look at other companies that just flat out don't want them to have, when you look at other corporations, I'm not gonna name any names, that don't want them to have any like unions and stuff like that. Well, they speak to a whole different agenda. You feel me? Anyway, all that aside, I don't want anybody to think this is a black thing. Obviously, other nationality groups practice this sort of thing as well. So, but yeah, let's kind of go into the get into the topic. So anyway, this is a reporter from TMZ. This is a report by TMZ. Nelly want to make politics. Nelly want to make politics about race. Said I married black and Kamala did not. Come from Nelly himself, right? I mean, it's an argument. You know what I mean? A lot of people was criticizing Kamala Harris for marrying a Jewish dude. You know, like is she really black? Is she really black because because she's some people say she's Jamaican and not FBA. Other people are saying that we don't know what her daddy was, and a lot of that stuff was falsified. And then she's just Indian. Like it's all type of stuff that's kind of been happening regarding Kamala Harris. In my opinion, none of that stuff really matters. Is about the policies that she was presenting for that actually benefits us as a people. That's how I feel about it. But anyway, Nelly is at wit's end with fans painting him as a traitor to his race after the country Grammy creator performed at the Donald Trump inauguration event. At the top of the year, he figures he's more pro-black than their failed candidate. The rap megastar has been fending off critics during his press run for his We Belong Together reality series with his wife Ashanti, especially when he stepped into the shade room and took aim at Kamala Harris. And so he been getting kind of some flack regarding that as well a little bit. You kind of been keeping up with that a little bit?
Yeah, I heard he was getting, I remember, it just brought him back, remember when he performed at the inauguration.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. Him and, Snoop, did Snoop perform at the inauguration? That was just hilarious.
He was a DJ.
Yeah, that. And he said the same, like, people, there's an argument to be had. Like, people, they talk their stuff about somebody, but when they paying enough, Everybody got their price.
You talking about when Snoop Dogg was talking that shit, talking about anybody that do business with Donald Trump is a sucker or something like that. Yeah, so then we see him doing the.
Just gonna turn around, ain't nothing but a G thing around a bunch of people who don't even know the lyrics to the song. They just. Can I say nigga now?
That's after they done spun the loop like 3 or 4 times. And they finally caught on to the
oh,
jingle.
That song.
Yeah.
Is Dr. Dre here?
Yeah, so is that Dr. Dre? No, that's Snoop Dogg, my guy. But yeah, and I mean, shoot, and he had a whole. He finally spoke out about that. Did you hear about that? About his rebuttal to the criticism that Snoop Dogg faced when pressed on that issue because he was on the Breakfast Club. But basically, what he said was, "I put 30 years in the game. You know, I done fed people. I done did this for the community. I done put people to school. He said he did a bunch of stuff for the community for 30 years. So he can't do 30 minutes with Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? And this inauguration thing, like, is it really that bad for y'all? So what do you think about that? Like, do you think that 30 years, you know, make up for that 30 minutes that he performed at an inauguration ball, despite his very words being, oh, for anybody to do business with Donald Trump is a sucker, and that he's also rich.
I would hold him to them words.
Oh, you hold him to the words.
I would hold him to them words because,
Ooh.
like, bro, like, I'm not finna play around. Like, with Snoop, I'm not finna play around with him. I respect him, but I'm not finna play around with him. This man done showed up at Savior's Day. He done converted to Rastafarianism. He done changed his name. Snoop Lion came back to Snoop Dogg. You still be on your Crip shit, bro. Stop playing with us, bro. I love you, but stop playing with us, bro. I'm gonna hold you to them words, G. You. I ain't gonna say that them 30 minutes gonna corrupt the last 30 years of what you did, but don't do that though. Don't do that. You know what you did. You know you took that check because, you know what I'm saying? You know Rastas and Muslims, the ones that you spoke to in front of, bro. You know what I'm saying? We hold each other accountable. You gotta stand on your word. You know what word is bond means.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, stop playing.
Yeah. It's like, I think those words definitely bit him. I mean, because it was true though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't know. Sometimes some people they pick and choose how they want to play the game, and if that's something that help,
No, I was just gonna say, and that being said, like, you can't, like, if you want to pick and choose, then take the criticism that come with it, but don't act like you're gonna be someone who stands on something and then just gonna flip because the paycheck was good enough. If you're gonna take that paycheck, be honest about that shit leading up to that, bro. Let that be your character. Like, I know I talk my shit, but I ain't gonna lie. I would have took that check if it was like $100K. Like, me personally, I wouldn't perform for Donald Trump because he misrepresents the American people, and you ain't finna just have me out there while you in the back doing your little Trump dance, Trump shuffle. You're not going to be doing that at all.
I got to edit the damn Trump show because you mentioned it.
Please do. That cracks me up every time. But no, you're not going to have me out there rapping and then you in the back doing your little dance. And no, bro.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, let's keep going then. Yeah, the rap megastar has been fending off. Well, you just read that, didn't we? Nelly highlighted his and Snoop Dogg's monetary support towards historically black colleges, universities over the years before flipping the switch on the ex-vice president and her husband, Doug Emhoff, labeling them the woman of color with a white husband and white kids. So here's exactly what he said.
Want me to read it?
Oh, he can by all means.
I'll put whatever up. Me and Snoop do more in the community and have been doing more 20 plus years against any of you that have just been on here talking trash and have no stats to back up what you mean to the community. From the black families that we employ to the black children that we help every day and all year through our nonprofits, whether we're sending kids to school on scholarships to HBCU or helping young black boys in LA, Gang Central, with his junior football programs. Many players have went on to the NFL and live their dreams. And on top of that, we are black men married to beautiful black women with black children. Should be inspiring to most that some of y'all have a problem with because the prosecutor who has probably locked up more black men that we have helped women of color with a white man, with a white husband. I probably read that wrong. Because the prosecutor who has probably locked up more black men that we've helped women of color with a white husband and white kids did not win the election. Again, I reiterate, I did not campaign for anyone. I do not tell people who to vote for. I respect and love our country from top to bottom, good and bad. Man, that's funny. And I am very aware that it's a lot of things in this country that we need to work on. The right is too far right, and the left is too far left. I'm a military baby with a granduncle who was a Tuskegee Airman and a red tail that was very prideful for his country. I told you it's my respect for the office, meaning that any president that calls upon Nelly, it would be an honor. Nothing to do with money, nothing to do with race. But if you want to make it about race, then let's go. He said, let's go. I find it very interesting that so many of you would dump on two black men that's married to black women who has black children because the women of color with a white husband and white kids didn't win. What's so crazy is that y'all would literally go after the black man who was there doing their jobs, but continue to make money for the white platforms that was there to support him. That's amazing.
Okay. W said a mouthful. Anything that stick out to you for you? Better and reading up.
Oh shit! You know when he said I respect and love our country from top to bottom, good and bad.
That's weird to me too.
I understand being a military baby, you have a certain love for this country. When I was a kid, I had a love for this country. I ain't gonna lie. But when I grew up and realized the atrocities this motherfucker committed against our people, that love definitely changed. I mean, to a certain extent, I still have a natural love for this country. Like, I love its beauty. I love the rights that it means to stand for, but it doesn't implement them. And that's really sad. You know what I'm saying? But I can't love the bad of this country at all because it's done some atrocious stuff. Like, first off, you came here taking the land from the natives. Then you brought people from another continent, Africa, you know what I'm saying, and enslaved them to build up the economy. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, you can't love the bad in this country.
Absolutely. Like, at best, like, I don't know, some people try to look at it, some people try to just rationalize it as it's like you love a child, you know. You have to deal with the bad, but you can also, again, like you just said, love the nature, love its nature. You know what I mean? Love the beauty of the child. You know what I mean? And you love the beauty of how it will, even though birthing a child is much different, it's a much more beautiful process than how America was erected. But yeah, it's
you can't love America like you would love a child.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's like we're born into this country that comes with a rap sheet that's miles long that people don't want to talk about. And when you find out what they don't want to talk about, you see why they didn't want to talk about it. And you wonder why they still don't want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're born into a bunch of BS.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely can't get on board with loving the bad. Like, that doesn't make any sense because the bad is a whole new level of bad when it comes to our people and everything.
It's the whole reason why these countries hate America.
For real. But yeah, to use that to like rationalize your involvement in like dealing with politics the way that you did is highly questionable. And at the very least, you're gonna have to. I mean, if this is some kind of like, I don't know. I mean, if you're trying to pass the narrative that you are more pro-black than what people perceive you to be, you're gonna have to, as you just said about Snoop, you have to just take this criticism. This criticism is entitled to you because, like, we're not dumb. You know what I mean? You can't spin it in this sort of way to make this type of thing make sense to us. Now, I don't know if there's something else you need to talk about. They need to be shared with us. Then I don't know, find a way to reach out and speak to the group so that you can say it in a way that it does make sense, but it has to be honest as well. But this as it stands, for me it just doesn't work.
This man might as well put on a red shirt and his little avatar picture. He might as well put on a red shirt because you really sounding like one of them people right now.
So, but aside with it, one of the things that kind of stood out to me was like the comparison of like his the families, the black families that's led by women that he's provided for, that he helped in comparison to the black man Kamala Harris put behind bars. And I believe it was 40. I believe it was about 45 that was actually convicted, that actually went to prison. She was just the person that was prosecuting, right? And I don't want to get too far in this, but people need to understand that we do need more black, either male or female prosecutors. It may look bad that this person put people behind bars, but what people need to consider is, if we leave that job to people that cannot empathize with black people in the black struggle, then, well, guess what? We're gonna have a whole lot more people kind of not being able to empathize or put into context a lot of the situations that black people find themselves in. Not to say that we need people to run scrimmage or each other run game, help assist the run game on the courts and stuff like that, and the judge and the jurors and stuff like that, but we need people to be able to step up and tell the story in a way that it makes sense. To step up and tell our stories in a way that it makes sense in line with the courts. Right. And Kamala Harris may have had that, may have understood that. I mean, at the very least, she went to a HBCU. She was influenced by HBCU. She was influenced by like the environments that she lived in and stuff like that. And she was, and influenced by just being amongst like the Democrats and black people in general. I'd argue that she had that perspective, that necessary perspective required to save a lot of those black people, those black men from actually going facing severe jail time. But that's just another way of kind of looking at it, and I mean, and that's nothing to kind of make up for the times that she messed up. And I know there's some items that people have brought up to actually hold her hostage to hold her accountable over. That is unfortunate. But I'm just from an overall aspect, overall view of things, somebody like Kamala Harris, somebody with the background of Kamala Harris, has a higher likelihood of defending black men than comparison to, let's say, I mean, any other prosecutor that does not have that share her experience. Right. All that aside, he has to, if he did help out that many people with his own money, and without any type of game being ran, and all these like weird little loopholes and stuff like that we kind of been seeing, did he? Then that's good for him. That's dope. I'll give him credit for that. But I don't know. Like I don't think that's like really. I mean, I appreciate him for marrying a black woman. I appreciate him having black kids. Like that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think the comparison is what he's trying to claim it to be. You know what I mean? So
I still think that was a weak ass excuse. Mad at two black men for doing their job. We're just doing our job, like, bro.
Yeah, man. Come on. So yeah, I'm not. Yeah, and there's some couple other things I kind of but.
I'm sorry to cut you off, bro. With the black families that y'all helped, these people will follow y'all. You know what I'm saying? Probably in what y'all do. So they say you supporting Trump. What they gonna do? Support Trump without knowing any better because they think you support Trump. People follow celebrities because like it's so easy to get we see from this, it's easy to even get somewhat of a celebrity endorsement. Him and Snoop probably never even endorsed Trump.
Right.
But them performing there did. Because you would do it's seen as an endorsement.
You got a point. It's definitely seen as an endorsement. I mean, I'm not going to get too far in this, but it's seen as an endorsement because it makes like the more exposure Donald Trump gets, and I guess in this case the Republican Party for that matter, it. I want to put it like this: it's trying to pass the idea that being a black Republican is cool or black conservative is cool, and to some extent, it is cool for it's normal for us to be conservative to an extent. Like there's some policies that a lot of black people can have normally got behind. Like, and I get that, but when we kind of look at it, somebody like this. How do I put this? When we kind of look at a president like Donald Trump and see what he's done to black people already, even underhandedly, and we kind of express that in a few other videos, for him to like say, well, how can I be racist? I had Snoop Dogg performing for me. I let Kodak Black out of prison, and he does all this stuff for black people with money. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, sure, like we get it, dude, but I don't want to be like the useful idiot at the same time. I don't want Nelly. I don't want Snoop Dogg. I don't want any black people to be like a useful idiot to get agendas passed that hurt, that heavily impact a huge portion of the black community. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like what they call it, like the old school term for it is overlay for the underplay. You know what I mean? Yeah. And all that really means is they'll put up a lot of smoke and mirrors to make you think, to get you to believe in the illusion. Where there's something crazy happening behind the curtain, you feel me?
And that's been his whole play this whole time.
Yeah, that's been the whole play the entire time. So, yeah, ultimately, man, I'm not really gonna get behind like what Nelly's trying to do. I didn't really get behind what how Snoop Dogg tried to defend himself. I think I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier. These celebrities, their job is to I lost my train of thought. My bad. Their job is to bring attention to the politicians that actually matter. The ones that want to get good agendas, get good legislation passed that's going to benefit the people that the benefits the people. You know what I mean? Not necessarily just black people, not necessarily just that person's families, but that's gonna be overall good for America. And the way in my opinion, the way looking at the big beautiful bill, looking at the agendas of Donald Trump and the Republicans, they seem to be mostly involved in the elite class. I mean, like I said, he's pardoning elite level blacks. Like, and if they'll go as far as to doing that, what else can I say? Like, it's gotten past a race problem, and we do involve ourselves with race on this channel a lot, but I know it's something like elitism is something that befalls everybody, every nationality of people in this country, and that's what they ultimately want to replace the working class with. They want everybody that lives to be elites, even if that means they have to sacrifice, the lower class, right? It's just kind of that's pretty much how I feel about it, man. Yeah. Otherwise, it's been Chicago Black Delegation Podcast with the Corner Show. Featuring my cuz
J. Rushy.
We catch you on the flip side. That was So, all right, so yeah, everybody, that was our last video, our last segment. So we appreciate everybody for sticking with us and showing support and all that good stuff. Jay, man, tell them what you've got going on, or what you're gonna be, what's next for you, rather.
Oh man, right now just working, man. Like I said, content coming soon to the channel. Subscribe, J. Rashid. Follow me on Instagram, J. Rashid 718. Twitch, King Kizza 718. Man, you can catch me. I'm always doing something, man. TikTok, Instagram, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we on the TikTok, man. This dude he ruined my algorithm.
Man, I be fucking up your algorithm. He done sent me all these damn videos, it's crazy stuff, bro. I ain't gonna get into detail with it, but yeah, you have definitely did a number on my algorithm, my cousin. Hey, yo, shout out to Fat Fellas.
Okay, now you want to screw it up.
They be cracking me up, man. It's FN season all year round. I ain't big. I ain't a fat nigga. But they got it down, bro.
Fat niggas need love too the whole time, man.
Hey, y'all got it, bro. Y'all got it.
They got, but for sure though. But otherwise, yeah, man. Like I said, we gonna try to keep things consistent with the channel, man. I'm gonna try, like I'm doing my, I'm gonna get back to doing my daily my daily streams and stuff like that, where I kind of just research things and show y'all good information, good things, show y'all things that kind of been interesting and stuff like that. Things that won't go into like a formal video and all that stuff. But otherwise, yeah, man. Otherwise, yeah, big shout outs to Theater 47. Yeah, I almost said 45. I almost got decousified. Shout out to Theater 47. Shout out to Golden Nugget Popcorn, man. Shout out to everybody that has been sharing and liking and commenting on all of our videos, man. Very much so appreciate all the support. We're gonna be pushing over, man. We got over 1,000 subscribers. We're gonna be moving towards 2,000, maybe even 10,000 this year. And I think with us just being consistent with our messaging, staying true to the community, staying true to what's gonna benefit all of Americans, because like with these individuals, with these people that think we should only invest in the elite, and the elite is gonna bleed over their wealth towards the working class, and we'll make a greater America. No, this was like, here's the hot take of the day. Okay, when you invest into the elite and they continue to keep the money at the very top, and they do nothing with this money outside of passing that wealth down to their families and to their kids, that's just going to foster an economy that is going to keep people like our class, people like me and you, broke and asking and begging for more. And it's going to, how can I simply say this? Is going to eventually drive the lower class into a form of a level of destitution that's going to essentially reach out and steal from the people that surround them. That'd be the working class. And while we down here destroying ourselves, they're going to be out, holding on to their wealth and planning their exit strategy. You know what I'm saying? And when that happens, they gonna take their wealth and leave. They're gonna invest in Dubai. They're gonna invest in Japan. They're gonna invest in all these other places, and just leave us to our devices. They're gonna leave us by device I mean American debt. You know what I mean? So that's just how that's how I see it, bro. I don't think investing into the elite class is the right move. That's why you're gonna hear. I mean, everybody call me a socialist or a leftist, anything like that. Like, bro, the money needs to be going towards the working class, because the working class is what keeps America going around, right? Yeah. So, any last comments, man?
Close man,
all right.
Hit on the head, bro.
All right. So, yeah, we'll catch you on the flip side, man.
Holla.
Dude. All right. That's about it for me, man. I'm like super late for this date. I'm about to get my ass whipped. All right, bro. Nice to meet you, my bro. So yeah, if you like what we're doing here, I mean, you up when it comes through and share your thoughts and stuff like that. I'll probably talk to you a little bit, see what you kind of about, and we'll kind of help you plan and run and all that stuff. Jesus.
Fucked up business.
Fucked up business.
You know what I'm saying? But the business, and he don't care if he don't care if he really. Politics. Don't even have to be a politics. All you got to do
Uh-oh. Hot take.